Chapter 21. Just One More Thing. Jeff, Jack, Jeremy, and Gavin had gathered around the kitchen table in the safe house, with Jeff's phone in the middle of the table connected to Michael's on loudspeaker. Michael, Lindsay, Trevor, and Matt were in a similar position in the recovery room on the third floor of the hospital, where Ryan was still sleeping off the anesthesia and Sean was seated by the window, out of earshot. "All right, everyone, there's a lot at stake here, so let's not fuck this up," Jeff began loudly so everyone could hear over the phone. "The first thing we need is a Cargobob. Jack, that's your job." Jack nodded. "Sure thing." "Michael, we need some serious firepower." Michael grinned. "Like miniguns? Rocket launchers? Grenades?" "Like a tank." "That's a big ask, but I might know a guy," he said with a mischievous note in his voice. They could practically hear the grin on his face. "Shut the fuck up," Jeff grinned back. "I know you know a guy." "You got it, Jeff. I'll call it in." Jeff pointed at Jeremy. "Lil J, you're gonna be in the tank." "Yes!" Jeremy's fist shot into the air. "Meanwhile, I'm going to steal a chopper and provide aerial support." Jeff took a deep breath and let out a slow exhale. "The plan is, Jack and Gavin are going to get in the Cargobob and fly to the roof of the hospital. Meanwhile, Jeremy's going to drive the tank right up to the front door and create a distraction for the cops, while Michael, Lindsay, Matt, and Trevor get Ryan to the roof and everyone gets in the Cargobob." "That's one hell of a distraction," Jeremy noted. Michael giggled loudly. "Yeah, no shit. So by this stage, helicopters will probably be en route." Jeff paused, looking hopefully at Jack. "Jack, I know you can do this. You're going to pick up the tank with the Cargobob, and then, Lil J, you'll take out the choppers." "Awesome!" Jack and Jeremy nodded in unison. "But we can't make a getaway like that without being traced. I mean, it's not exactly subtle. So, we're going to stock the Cargobob with weapons and parachutes and drop Matt and Trevor over the city. You guys will create a diversion for any of the ground forces Jeremy misses at the hospital, or any that get scrambled on our way out of the city. You guys will send the cops on a wild goose chase through Los Santos. Think of it as running interference. You know, help keep them off our tail." "Aw, man," Matt groaned. He and Trevor shared the same look of apprehension. Lindsay rolled her eyes and shot them a look that simultaneously managed to convey, "Quit your bitching," and "You can do this," in Lindsay's unique brand of threatening reassurance. "Hey, you guys are the least likely to get killed on sight. The cops don't know your faces as well as ours, so you have that advantage. Plus, you know the city like you fucking built it, so you've got that going for you as well," Jeff explained simply, reinforcing Lindsay's encouragement. "Meanwhile, the rest of us will be making for Mount Chiliad. Once we're clear of the choppers, we drop Lil J. He takes care of any remaining cops on the ground. By this stage, we should have lost most of the heat, but the Cargobob is still too conspicuous. So we're going to land on the mountain, where we will pick up a vehicle to transport Ryan to the safe house, where we wait for the all clear. Everyone got it?" There was a collective murmur of assent. "You weren't kidding about it being a big one," Michael scoffed. Jeff ignored him and the too obvious setup. Trevor and Matt would surely pick it up. He could already hear the snickering. "Michael, you still have your comms?" "Sure do." "All right, there's just one more thing. We gotta figure out a way to stall the cops. I mean, what if they decide to storm the hospital before Ryan wakes up?" "They haven't made a move on us yet." "Maybe because we have a hostage?" Trevor suggested, glancing at Sean. "Are you kidding?" Michael scoffed incredulously. "It's one guy, for 5 of us, guaranteed fake AH crew, including the fucking vagabond. They're not going to care about one nobody." "Maybe they don't, but they sure have to look like they do. I think Trevor's right. The LSPD may be the most corrupt cops out there, but they still have to look like they're doing their job, and a siege in a hospital, well, it's not good publicity for anyone," Lindsay reasoned. "I don't think they're going to make a move until we do. That way they get to look like the good guys, even if they do kill the hostage trying to get to us." "Are you sure about that?" Jeff asked nervously. "No," Lindsay said, "but it's all we've got for now, unless someone comes up with a better idea. We just make sure we don't make a move until we're ready, and hope they're not prepared when we do." Okay, good. We need to be ready to go as soon as Ryan's awake and we know he's stable. Call me as soon as he wakes up. Do not let the hostage out of your sight. Keep one eye on the news and the other on the door. If you get any sign of movement, make sure I'm the first to know. And take care of yourselves. Pretty sure when Jeff said to take care of ourselves, he didn't mean give yourself diabetes. Trevor scolded Matt as he watched him scarf down yet another Twix from the vending machine. You really do only run on sugar, don't you? I'd like to think of it as I'm speed running life, Matt quipped. Trevor snickered. I'd say so. How are you not broke yet, by the way? That shit's expensive. Matt grinned through chocolate-coated teeth and nodded toward the vending machine where Trevor could see it had clearly been broken into. Oh, well, in that case, Trevor smirked, rapidly changing his tune. Sean, you want anything? Sean stirred. Are there any peanut butter Twix left? I'll check. Trevor went to grab the candy while Matt moved over to sit next to Sean. I didn't think a medical professional would be too quick to join me in having Twix for breakfast. Brunch. Whatever it is now, he mumbled. Sean easily caught the Twix Trevor had thrown from the hallway. To be completely honest, he began, tearing open the wrapper, most of the staff here run on a combination of sugar, caffeine, and nicotine. Especially the guys on swing and night shifts. We're not exactly the healthiest people. Matt grinned, nodding. I feel you, man. Much like waking up from a deep, dreamless sleep, consciousness came back to Ryan gradually at first, and then all at once. He still felt groggy and tried to shake himself out of his drug-induced, hypnagogic state, where the world felt almost hallucinatory. His eyes blinked open, trying to take in his surroundings. He was in what looked to be a hospital room, all white and mint green. Across the room he could see Matt sitting with a young Asian man in scrubs who looked vaguely familiar. There was a television showing news footage of police cars outside a hospital. Michael was sitting next to him, watching the situation outside the hospital unfold on the muted TV. Hey, he lives! Michael exclaimed, with a strange sense of déjà vu. Yeah, I suppose that's your doing, he managed to reply, mostly coherently. Thanks for showing up in time for once. I don't want to sound too grim here or anything, but honestly, we didn't get to you in time, Michael explained, unsure if Ryan would be able to take it in, but needing to get it off his chest anyway. If that bullet had been in one position off where it was in the chamber, your brains would have been a painting on the wall of that warehouse. Yeah, Ryan nodded slowly. I mean, could have made for an interesting art exhibit, but I guess it's a good thing that they're not. He shrugged, and the movement suddenly made him aware of all of the nagging aches and pains that whatever pain medication they had him on wasn't quite suppressing. He lifted the light blanket that was draped over him to look over his wounds, seeing a number of stitches decorating his torso, and down his arms from the superficial cuts Shadles had inflicted before seeing the dressings on both his legs. What did they do to me? What all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't, apparently. Lindsay's smiling face appeared in the doorway. They had to perform a graft to repair your femoral artery. Yeah, what she said, Michael muttered. Ryan dropped the blanket. He now seemed a bit out of it, like he was struggling to put his thoughts in order. Did Gavin have a flamethrower? Or was that an He paused while Michael giggled quietly at his struggle to pronounce the word. Slowly and deliberately he repronounced, an anesthesia-induced hallucination. Just that. It would seem a lot safer if it was just my imagination. No, that happened, Michael said with a giggle. He was actually pretty good with it. Gav really likes to burn things. And you call me crazy. You are crazy! Getting yourself kidnapped like that? Fuck, Ryan, you could have died! His tone was that uniquely parental mix of concern and reprimand, and Ryan suddenly felt 12 years old again, coming home from the park with a black eye after some teenagers tried to steal his bike. He still had his bike, though. I know. I'm dumb, he said sheepishly, now clearly still affected by the drugs. Michael grimaced. Look, it's not exactly over yet. We got a bit of a situation here. The police aren't exactly thrilled with us blowing up a block of East Los Santos, or taking hostages in a hospital. Or just our existence in general, I suppose, added Lindsay with a cheeky smile. She sauntered over to his bedside and cracked the tab on a can of Diet Coke she'd gotten from the vending machine. I'm not sure the doctors would approve of me giving you this, but we're going to need to get going pretty soon. The caffeine might do you some good. Ryan looked up at her with a lopsided grin, taking the can gratefully. You are an angel. Michael looked at Lindsay and raised an eyebrow. Was he talking to you or the soda? Ryan was too busy taking gulps to reply. Suppose we should call Jeff, Lindsay said, pulling out her phone. Let's get this show on the road. Ryan swallowed the last mouthful of Coke and feebly tried to crush the can, barely denting it, before giving up and setting it down. He pointed to the TV. So that's for us, then? He asked, sounding a little confused. Michael hummed a quiet giggle. Yeah, buddy, that's outside. They're coming for us. Oh, no, Ryan mumbled and shut his eyes, before adding, seemingly out of nowhere, You could have died trying to save me. Michael sighed. You were worth it, Ryan, he said reassuringly, knowing he was out of it. Eyes still closed, Ryan smiled. Thanks, man. Just as suddenly as he had nodded out of it, his eyes snapped open and focused on the TV again. He sounded suddenly and completely lucid when he asked, So, what's the plan for getting out of here? Although he seemed lucid at the time, when later questioned about it, Ryan couldn't actually remember any of the conversation taking place, nor could he recall violently throwing up immediately after asking Michael what the plan was. His first clear memory after leaving the warehouse was the sound of gunfire.